Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samya Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? Then you're in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, so we have been talking about how if we can correct our minds, the rest of our life can really fall into place. And exploring this teaching in the context of the causal chain that leads to our behavior, which lead to our results. That has this causal chain that has been established through research in psychology. So the causal chain basically says, okay, on the one end of the chain is our beliefs. Our beliefs lead to our thoughts. Our thought lead to our emotions, and our emotions are really the driving factors behind our behavior. And then our behavior, and this is my addition, behavior produces our results. Now, we're all interested in the results, right? We all want the results that we want. But most of us are really kind of focused on everything that's outside of us in order to change our results. So for example, let's say you want to create a really calm, peaceful environment where you can spend quality time with yourself, and maybe your loved ones or whatever, but the point is you want that calm, peaceful environment. You want to see that result in your life. But how many things can come in your way of producing that and achieving that result? It's like even though you put in your best effort and you do everything that's in your power to produce a really calm, peaceful environment, other people can come in your way of producing it. Like, for example, let's say your vision of a calm, peaceful environment requires this like really beautiful meditative garden to exist as part of your living space in your backyard or something. And so you're like, okay, so I'm going to create this beautiful meditative garden in my backyard. But you start trying to go around and build that beautiful meditative garden. And turns out, the city is not giving me the permits that I need to build everything the way that I want to. Or the city gave me the permits, but I can't find anyone to actually do the work and execute it in the way that I want. And it's like causing all these frustrations because I can't get the materials that I need. The people coming in to do the actual building, they don't have the level of skill that's needed to execute my vision, or they just do not understand my vision. Or maybe even all of that goes just perfectly fine, and you manage to build this beautiful meditative garden space in your backyard, but then your neighbors decide to go crazy and start to produce all kinds of like crazy noise around you, and it's like you've done everything you can to put up sound barriers and stuff, but it's still not good enough. or maybe because you're living like close to a train station or an airport, the noise from those trains or airplanes like constantly going over your head, or the train running in the background, it's disturbing, and you cannot get that quiet that you need or that you want. Oh my gosh. Other frustrating things. I mean, hey, there are people in your family, who may decide to create all kinds of ruckus in your very home, or it might start raining. And so it's like, oh my gosh, I can't fully enjoy my garden because it's raining. There could be a million things that can really come in your way of producing that result of having a calm, peaceful environment, and or being able to enjoy that, even if you manage to create it in the first place, right? So when we're talking about achieving control of our wellness, achieving control of our well-being, we need to have a reality check on what does control over our well-being, control over our wellness, control over our environment, what does that really look like? What are the limits to it? What can and can I not control? Okay, so this is actually a very multi-part answer that I want to give in response to this question that I just asked. And I guess I'll go with it as far as I can this episode, and then we'll continue to go deeper if needed into exploring other aspects of the answer in the next episodes. But the first point that I want to pick up in terms of what are the limits of our control? What are things that we can and cannot control? I actually want to, before I give you some limits or what I believe are some limits, I actually want to give you a disclaimer. Because I think this is a really, really important disclaimer, a really important point to understand. When we think about, okay, what can I control and what can I not control? We all have beliefs around this. There are assumptions that we all make about what we can and cannot control. Depending on what your beliefs are about what you can and cannot control, guess what? You're going to behave differently, right? Because we know your beliefs will produce your thoughts about what is possible and what you can and cannot do. Your thoughts will generate emotions that will either encourage you or discourage you from acting in ways that may possibly create the change or not that you really desire. So what your beliefs are about what can and cannot change, and we all have them, but it's really, really important about, first of all, we must have an awareness of what are the beliefs around what I can and cannot change. What are my specific beliefs about, if there's something in my life right now that I do not like for example, let's stick with this example of right now, I'm lacking a really calm, peaceful environment in which I can meditate. I do not like that circumstance in my life now. I'm just using that as an example. It's not something that's actually a problem in my life right now, thankfully. But let's just stick to that as an example. So let's say there's this thing I don't like in my life, right? And so I want to change that. So now, what do I believe? Like, for example, if I believe that I can change my physical location. So, for example, if I have a home in a certain area, a certain part of town, and I believe that I can change the location of my house, like maybe move to a different area entirely if I really wanted to or needed to, I might proceed to act in very different ways than if I believe that I cannot change my location even if I wanted to. Like, there may be all kinds of reasons why I believe I cannot change my location. I may say, okay, well, you know what, like, I just don't have the money right now to be able to make a move into a nicer area. So I cannot afford to upgrade to a place where, you know, I can have a better environment in terms of like a quieter neighborhood or a bigger backyard or bigger rooms or like whatever. Or that, oh, you know what, like there may be other reasons why I feel I cannot change, move, that may be related to, okay, well, I have family here and I have to take care of my family and my family cannot move, so I cannot move. You know, all kinds of reasons could exist because of which I believe that I cannot move. So if I believe I cannot move, even if I wanted to, then I will act in very different ways to solve this problem of I need a calm, peaceful environment and I don't have it right now. Now, so the first thing is to have an awareness of what are the beliefs that I have. Do I have a belief that I can or cannot move? So once I'm aware of that belief, the next thing, really, this is really, really important, is, well, I mean, test it out, challenge it. Is it really true? Is it really true? So for example, if I believe that I cannot move to a different part of town, to a different location that may be more conducive, like for example, if I live in a neighborhood that's really close to the airport, right? And the noise of the airplanes flying above my head, above my house, like I'm just not able to get used to it, and it just continues to really bother me. And I find it like really disturbing. But I believe that I cannot move. But is that really true? Is that really true? The assumptions that I'm making, because of which I have formed this belief that I cannot move, are they really true? Can I change any of the conditions that have led me to the belief that I cannot move? Because once my conditions change, then the reality of whether I can or cannot move can also change, right? So even if it is true right now that I cannot move, why is it that I cannot move? Is there something that I can do to change that underlying condition? So for example, if the reason I think I cannot move is that I don't have enough money, well, can I do something to change that reality of not enough money? Or can I look into and open myself up to possibilities of, well, hey, maybe I actually do have enough money and I'm just assuming that I don't have enough money because I'm thinking I don't have enough money to like upgrade into a nicer neighborhood, but maybe I do have enough money to upgrade to a nicer neighborhood. The reason I'm thinking I don't have enough money is because I'm when I looked at the home prices in the nicer neighborhood that's away from the airport, I was looking at properties that were already ready to sell, that were like renovated from top to bottom and, in really good condition. And those prices are really high and out of my reach. But what if I was to look into getting a property that was not in very good condition, and I sell my current property, and so then maybe I would be able to, still have enough room in my budget that, I can renovate that property, including the add-on of this project that I really desire, of creating a beautiful, peaceful, meditative garden for myself, or whatever my version of that peaceful, calm, meditative space is that I want. Hey, that's just one possibility. Maybe there are other possibilities that exist, which may make it very possible for me to make a move into a different neighborhood, a nicer neighborhood, where I have that quieter, calmer environment, or it's easier for me to create that quieter, calmer environment. So just to challenge our assumptions, and really challenge them, not like, okay, I'm just going to think about it, but challenge them with courageous action. It's about that serenity prayer. That it's, I believe it's a Christian prayer, and I can never remember the exact words for it, but I remember the spirit behind it. And I just think it's so beautiful. This idea that God give me patience for the things that are out of my control, that I cannot change. And God give me courage to change the things that I can change. But to also give me the wisdom to know the difference. But guess what, everybody? What is wisdom? How do we acquire wisdom? Wisdom is applied knowledge. Wisdom is applied knowledge. The only way you can acquire wisdom in your life is through applied knowledge. You have to apply what you know, or what you think you know, and then you receive feedback from life on what works and what doesn't work. That's how you get wisdom. So, if there's something you think you cannot change, you have to challenge that assumption with courageous action. Courageous action. Big keyword here, right? Courageous. Courageous means I'm willing to do something that scares me. I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone and do something that I've not done before. And that's why it can be scary. But I'm willing to do this something different. I'm willing to do this something scary, because if I keep doing what I have been doing, I'm going to keep getting the same results that I've been getting as well. So if I'm wanting to change something, if I'm wanting to produce different results, then I must change my behavior as well. I must do something different. And that can be scary. So courageous action, folks. Courageous actions. Challenge your assumptions with courageous actions. And then allow the wisdom to emerge in your life around what is and isn't possible for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here for this episode, and then continue on with this in the next episode, because hey, I have a lot more to say about this whole issue of control in our lives. Okay, it's I love to talk about this, and it's a very, very important thing to talk about. So we'll definitely continue the conversation on this with our next episodes. But in the meanwhile, I wish you lots of peace and joy.